Hey, welcome back to episode 3 of Inner Sight. I'm really excited that we've made it this far, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to get to share these conversations with you all. This really is a journey. One of the reasons I started this channel is for me to have a deeper understanding of our inner senses. The first 2 videos were really special to me. They both spoke of ingrained societal prejudices that are affecting our lives today. This is important because I'm learning that prejudice is actually something that veils our inner sight. It weakens our ability to learn from others and to seek out new knowledge. But there's definitely more to it. Another thing we've explored is how we can see good in all that is around us. For those who watched, you'll remember when Keenan shared how he looked at his father's shortcomings as a lesson that gave him clarity for some decisions that he made in his life. He also shared how important it is to look within yourself and how strong one person can be even when they feel alone. Alexis, the next week, shared about the current global health crisis and how it has allowed us to slow down and appreciate what truly makes us happy. He also shared where in his life he has seen beauty, where he has seen courage, and revealed that what he saw as justice for people who do so much to provide food for millions of Americans. Today we get to continue on. In this interview you're about to see, I am particularly interested in how she views justice and where justice, beauty, courage come from. We asked these questions in our last interview, and I think you'll enjoy hearing another perspective. I believe it really enriches our current understanding and sets us up for more exploration in the interviews to come. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to Inner Sight. I appreciate that you're here, and we're going to have a great conversation. So if you could start, Shania, by just sharing, just introducing yourself and just sharing with us what it is that you do usually during your days, and how that's changed or if it's changed since the coronavirus restrictions. And yeah, share a little bit about yourself.
All right, my name is Shania Black Bear. I'm, how old am I? 23. And I'm married to DJ Serby. I have 2 boys I take care of. And I'm a communications clerk / DJ for KI9 Koya Radio in Rosebud. And yeah, so before the coronavirus hit, obviously I was working 40-hour weeks and doing some secretary stuff, but also on air as a DJ, just telling everybody, what's going down on the Rosebud, and co-hosting a morning show called The Morning Tea. And we just kind of talk about lifestyle stuff, some news, some happenings around the Rosebud, like celebrity gossip, horoscope, just all really real well-rounded show. And that is actually still going on. So after coronavirus hit, our weeks, or at least my week, got smushed down to a 20-hour week just to be extra safe and practice proper social distancing. And so the morning tea is still going on in the mornings. We're trying to keep a positive show. We actually had this on Wednesdays in the middle of the week. It was called Serious Central. And we talked about more heavy topics that we felt were important, but we didn't want to kind of bog anybody down by talking about serious stuff every day.
Sure.
So we chose a specific day of the week to talk about serious stuff. And
Serious Central. I like it.
And now we don't really do Serious Central right now because there's just so many negative things going on already in the news. And so we're just trying to keep a more positive light because a lot of people are really affected by the coronavirus and not exactly having the best time at mental health. So we're just trying to be extra positive, but we're keeping it up. One of the things that changed for the morning tea is we're actually live online a lot more on Facebook, just because people are already at home and they can tune in and they could leave a comment, or some people, their sleep schedules are really off, so they're waking up really late, so they're able to tune in later on without having to wake up at 8:30.
So in this time, there's a lot of people that are at home, a lot of people have cut down their working hours, and it gives us more time to think, like, and reflect. So what are some things that you've thought of, either for your personal life or for the world at large, that you're like, man, now that I have this a little more time to think, or maybe you've already thought about it before, what are some things that you feel like the world could be doing differently, or some things that you feel like in your personal life, like it's important to like do differently?
That's a good question. So we on the morning tea, we're constantly talking about self growth and trying to be better as humans and having long term compassion. And it's kind of an awkward coincidence. So before this pandemic happened, we were talking about short and long term compassion and how the world is really good at banding together when something really big is happening. So like a hurricane, a tornado, some form of natural disaster, we're really awesome at that because we want to be seen and we want a quick fix. We know our actions make a difference in that very moment. So we're talking about long-term compassion. And then this epidemic happened and it's really weird. But so we talk about it once in a while too. And it's that we are doing some really, really, really awesome things. There's so many people that are putting in a lot of really great effort, and we can still do that after this. So we can still, check in on our elders. We can still, because flu season exists, outside of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to not go around babies and older people when we're sick. And we should probably be, if somebody, maybe if they have a baby, it's hard for them to leave the house. Maybe we should be getting their groceries or, assisting in them in some way or, things like that. We can have compassion all throughout the year, and it doesn't just have to happen when we have a pandemic.
Yeah.
But that was a awkward coincidence.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Wow. What are some of the things you think that we could achieve as communities if that were to happen? So if we were to maintain this long-term compassion, what are some of the goals that we could reach? What are some new heights that we could attain that nobody ever thought of before?
Some people are like cleaning up their yards, and it's funny that we all want to visit people now that we're not able to, and we didn't do it before. So I think there's actually been a lot of people assisting at these places to cook food. So our youth have food and they've been delivering food. And I feel like that, I've been thinking about it for a really long time, but I live so far away from my own community that I'm kind of, I could do it here really, but I don't know, kind of scared. But a lot of people have been banding together at their community halls and like cooking and really trying to get information out there to the youth. And together, I feel like that's one of the biggest thing is to be able to share a meal with somebody, like to share a meal with your community, because it's something we do, every single day. And, a lot of things, like it's nice to be able to share a meal with somebody. And I feel like that's a big part of our culture is food. So yeah, I think they can accomplish stuff. And really, whenever you sit down and have a conversation with somebody, you can get to know them as a person, and then you can get to know their needs. So one of those things right now, a lot of people are cleaning, so we can do that afterward. We can help clean. There's maybe some people that aren't able. Maybe there's people that are able and they don't have the tools, or maybe they think it's kind of lame to be the only one cleaning their yard. And if we're all doing it, it would be cool again. But yeah, I don't know. I think it all starts with having a meal together and finding out really what that community needs.
That's pretty cool. You know what? I remember there was a time where there was this big ad campaign for, I think it mostly had to do with preventing drug use and like things like that. But they were saying families that eat together stay together, but they were talking about like, the immediate family. But that's a cool concept of like, the community, like having a meal together. It's really sweet. I think can have really big implications, like you're saying. I mean, who knows what you can like discuss, and be united. That's really cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. We're gonna go to a few more like deeper thought questions.
Do it up.
Okay, so here's the first one. And this has to do with the theme of the show, like inner sight. So just answer from your heart, like where you think you've seen these things before. The first one, it's in who or in what situation have you seen cruelty in your life?
In my life
Yes.
specifically? Oh man. Eh, that's a hard one. I think it was in myself that I saw a lot of cruelty. I was hurting inside, so I decided to hurt others. And a lot of people, there was no one around me that was really cruel. They were, some pretty nice people. And I was kind of self-destructing, so I tried to bring them down with me.
Hmm. You're talking about your middle school years, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that, and I feel like high school as well. Whenever I wasn't like in those safe spaces, I was still kind of being a butt to the people that I loved. And then now I'm working on it. I'm a lot better actually. I realized like I don't need to hurt people around me because those people love me, and I need to like express if I'm feeling sad or mad or whatever. And love creates love. So I don't know what kind of baggage they're carrying from that day, and I don't need to add to it. And I should be able to be there to help, alleviate some of that baggage or just be there as a friend.
That's really powerful. Wow. All right, we're going to lighten it up a little bit. In who or where in your life have you seen kindness?
Oof. All around me. People are so kind. My husband's really, really kind. He does all these awesome things for me and with me, like he's my best friend. But yeah, he was, I don't know. There's like a lot of compassion, and he kind of teaches me the power of community because, he doesn't really ask questions. He kind of just does it. If he sees a need, he does it. And I think that's like really cool. And all the other like adults around me, I mean, obviously I'm an adult, but the adultier adults that were adults but
yeah, those adultier adults, yes.
They were pretty awesome. They're really positive, and they like they're focused around community or youth, and they always like told me exactly how powerful the youth are.
All right, next one. You have 3 more questions.
All right, I'm ready.
This one is, in who or in what situation have you seen courage?
Oh, okay. So this is another one from our junior youth group. So we were broken off into our little groups, and we were doing a art day. And one of them I think was singing, and one was acting, and one was possibly, oh, no. One was poetry, one was acting, and I know there was a third one, but I don't remember what it is. But so we broke off into our groups, and my group had, I think, 3 youth in it. And ours was acting. And we got really lucky because one of our youth members was already an actor. He acts in all these plays, and he's really awesome. But one was just, we had a more timid youth group member, and she was doing really awesome at the planning part, giving some really good ideas what kind of skit we were going to do, because our skit was mostly in, like around friendship. And of course our youth group, I want to say we have about 12. So she was about to go up there in front of like about 12 people. And that was a little scary. So she put in all the like the work and really contributed. But when it came time to actually do it and act it in front of everybody, and we had very little time to plan this skit out, and she was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to. And, they're looking at me. They're going to see me. They're recording.
Yeah.
And kind of freaking out. And it was really cool because for one, we got to see from the other youth, like them encouraging them. And she finally just gave up. She's like, all right, I'll do it. And she did it. And she did amazing. And I thought that was really like, it warmed my heart because she did it. She could have just said, no, like, I'm not gonna. Like, that's my final answer. But she she got up there and did it. That was really nice to see because she got to have this experience, and she gets to take that away, and physical evidence of her being awesome.
Yeah, no, that's great. Totally. Great example of courage. Wow. Awesome. Next one. Second to last. In who or in what situation in your life have you seen justice?
So before I worked at the radio station, I was a religious education teacher, and greatest job ever. I loved it. It was so awesome. Taught about 300 kids a week, and it was just really nice. But something happened, and then I ended up losing my job, and it was really unfair. And so I went up to our local radio station because it was right beside where I just got fired. So I went up there, and I thought, maybe they need a janitor or, just anything really. I just needed a job. So I went up there, and there's this woman, she was working, and she was like, okay, cool. Like, can you read this for me? And I read it. She was like, wow, I really like your voice. You sound professional, and you're exactly what we're looking for. And on top of that, you've been in radio before. And she gave me a chance. And I told her, I was like really already shooken up. I was like, I just got fired like about 10 minutes ago. She was like, cool, well, you just got hired here. So I was without a job for about 45 minutes, I want to say. And I thought that was really awesome, and it felt like a confirmation. And I get to reach so many people, and I'm appreciated, and it feels really nice. And I'm really sad that I don't get to be around my students, but they still hear me. And when I see them, they're like, oh, you're on the radio, like you're doing all these cool things, and I listen to your show, and my mom listens to your show. And it feels really cool because I'm still the same person, and I still get to share some of the same things, and I'm still involved with the youth, and I'm happy I didn't get to lose that. And I feel like that was really like justice was served. It was really awesome.
Wow. It's actually, okay. Wow, that might help with this last question. So where do you think justice, courage, kindness, where do you think these things originate? Where do they come from?
Where do they come from? I think they're already in everybody. Everybody already has these things, and they're just like waiting to come out. They're waiting for like the perfect opportunity to show up. And like it's always people like taking that leap and doing awkward things in life and getting out of their comfort zone to really realize like, hey, I can do that, or hey, I can be that.
All right, thank you for joining on Inner Sight. And remember to go to Facebook and like the Facebook page for KINI 96.1 FM. Have a great day.
Got to get up, got to go help. Think about him, not of myself. Cause who you are is not what you have. Yeah, who you are is how you act. You know wrong from right, and you have justice. You know what's true inside, and you can trust it. You know